Hey, look at this. I love this light setup that I got going on. Well, hello and welcome to the Mr. Hydration Station. What is up with this? Why did this happen? Why is I have no idea what just happened. Seems like something happens every time I go live, but you know what? I'm getting better and better. I'm learning and learning, and I believe everything is a learning curve. All right, so today's episode, we should be having Brok Weaver on. He has not confirmed yet, but we did set it up for 6. I'm assuming he's just still in practice and it's running later or something happened. He just seems like a real genuine person. I don't think he just dip on an interview. So giving him the benefit of the doubt. I told him that if he can't make it, no worries. If he can, awesome, and to jump on whenever he can. So until then, I'm going to be giving some shout outs to my sponsors as well as giving talking about the fights this weekend. Okay, well, sponsors wise, let's talk about Rodriguez BJJ out of LaSalle, Illinois, or Peru, Illinois. My bad. I always get those two confused because they're right next to each other. I mean, they literally call the school LP, LaSalle, Peru. But I want to give a shout out to Rodriguez BJJ. I went over there and interviewed him. I'm actually splicing the video together. I'm hoping to get that out by Wednesday. Let's hope. Let's hope by Wednesday I can get it done. If not, at the very latest, we'll be doing it Thursday. But it's already recorded. All I got to do is splice it all together and give you guys a nice little presentation of the interview. It was a really great interview with Danny Rodriguez of Rodriguez BJJ, a very well accomplished individual, and he runs a school out of a Peru Mall, and it's not that expensive, man, especially compared to other schools, especially for the access that you have in the area that we are in. Definitely not anything closer that could be as good. Knowledge wise, practice wise, and teacher wise. So definitely check out Rodriguez BJJ. I will be releasing that interview, like I said, on Wednesday, shooting for Wednesday, hoping for Wednesday, but at the latest, we'll be doing Thursday. Another shout out I want to give is to DJ Slim. He is the entertainer business. He is the DJ business that I work with. DJ Slim, he's a real cool cat. If you need a sound system, if you need an MC, if you need a host, if you need a performer, anything you may need entertainment wise when it comes to music, DJing, dancing, grooving, weddings, bar mitzvahs, whatever you want, whatever you got, whatever you want to have, we got you covered at DJ Slim. Make sure you hit us up at 815-257-2601. Again, that number is 815-257-2601. And the next person I want to give a shout out is, boom, right here. That's me. No, I'm just kidding. That's Kevin Killalea of K Squared Imagery. He took a picture of me at Ottawa Riverfest back in 2015 or 2016. I cannot remember, but that is me staring out into the crowd. It was a great time, great performance, and it's one of my favorite pictures. And I decided to make it my Mr. Hydration logo. What I did is I just took, I designed a little Mr. Hydration lettering. Well, I guess it'd be like, you know, yeah. That's weird. So that looked weird. Anyway, I designed the Mr. Hydration logo. I stamped it on the picture, and you got his little watermark right here in the corner. You can see it right there. It's actually his face too. It's funny. But that is K Squared Imagery, the letter K followed by the word squared imagery. And he does a lot of great work, picture wise, photo shoot wise, video wise, whatever you have it, whatever you call it, doesn't matter. He's great in the advertisement aspect of things. So definitely get on with him. He's a great dude, great individual. Another person that I want to give a shout out to is Sup Marf Studios. That is SUPMARF. Sup Marf Studios on YouTube. Look him up. He does great mixing, great recording. The dude is very reasonable with his prices. and he's willing to work with anyone and anything. And he's got a great creative mind. If you're looking to make a music video that maybe involves some editing in terms of like what would you call that? Anyway, he's really good. He's really smart with it. He knows more about that than I do. I'm just the guy that's promoting him because he's my friend, and he helped me shoot my second music video, which is really awesome concept. He approached me about it, and then we delivered and did it all in one day. It was a 1 day shoot. It was awesome. It was all over Streeter. And what I essentially did was I recorded my song "Float Away" over and over and over again until my until we thought we had enough takes. He then spliced them all together, put them all together, and we came up with a great music video, "Float Away." Look us up on YouTube. It's Sup Marf Studios on YouTube, and the music video is called "Float Away" by Victor Raul. It's one of my favorite music videos. My other one was done by K Squared Imagery, and it's cool because Sup Marf helped with the audio on that. And he's, like I said, he's a great recording engineer. He does great mixing. He makes beats. If you're a rapper and you're looking to have someone make your beats for you, that's a great guy to get in contact with. Sup Marf Studios on YouTube. He's an amazing individual, great cat, and just an all-around amazing person. Another people I want to give a shout out to is Allie Ann's and Dwight. Allie Ann's and Dwight, they serve great food. It's a bar over there. They got gambling. They're renovating their place right now. It looks amazingly beautiful, amazingly done. I cannot wait to see how they progress with it, because it is my favorite bar to go to right now. I love going there. I actually hung out with them all day yesterday, and it was one of the funnest times I've had in a very, very long time. I mean, fun. It was. I felt like I'm not old, you know what I mean, but I'm also not super old either. So it made me feel super young hanging out with them last night. It was and happy anniversary, by the way, to you guys at Allianz. It was a great time. I thought it was one of the better nights I've had in a very, very long time is what I'm getting at. But anyway, I want to give them a shout out. Make sure I give them love. Allie Ann's and Dwight. Go out there, check them out. I'll be performing there sometime every month. I play, and I love it there, man. It's great energy, great crowd. Yeah, they know exactly how to create a solid following full of cool people. So Allie Ann's and Dwight, check them out. Another place I want to give a shout out to is Jackpots. Thank you for hiring me. They did a grand opening for their patio, and they had me play first. It was a great set. I enjoyed it. People laughed. They loved. They smiled. They giggled. It was great, dude. They sang along. Even people came up and sang with me. And I always try to do that at my shows. I'm trying to create a great, beautiful environment, and it usually helps if people are interested in doing it, and I love playing at places where people want to do that, where we get those a little bit extra energy type of people. You know what I mean? I'm a big fan of it. I love it. Who else I want to give a shout out to? There's so many people. I want to give a shout out to Peter Julian of the Super Jam, Bongo Pablo Super Jam. That man has been a huge asset to me in terms of going out and performing at these festivals. And he's a great musician. I mean, he's a drummer, guitarist. I'm pretty sure he can play anything and anything you give him. The dude is he's like almost like a mad scientist. I really dig him. He's a great energy, and definitely look him up. Bongo Pablo Super Jam, or I think it might be Bongo Pablo online as his Facebook. I don't know if it's Bongo Pablo Super Jam, because the Super Jam is what he does, and Bongo Pablo is who he is. So look up Bongo Pablo. Let's go with that. Let's start there. Bongo Pablo. Like I said, great guy. Also want to give a shout out to the Gold Prospector, aka my patron. Without him, I would have never gone to that Sugar Creek. I would have never got that poster. He's a great dude. I love his Gold Prospector. It's the coolest idea character that I've seen someone create in a very, very long time. I don't know. Actually, I'd love to have him on to ask him how it came around. I'm sure he's told me, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Anyway, great dude. Great energy to have around. The definition of pay it forward. The guy's got a heart of gold, and he's looking for gold to fill his buckets with. The Gold Prospector. Make sure you look him up where the people are the gold. He's a cool cat. Always going to festivals, by the way. And these festivals, man, make sure you head out to these festivals. These things are bomb, man. I'm telling you, some of the greatest times I've had is going out to these festivals and being a part of these gatherings is the best way to put it. It's family friendly too. They got kids running around, young adults, old people, people of all ages. What I'm getting at, they got them all there, and they're all performing, they're all dancing, they're all hanging out, having a good time, setting up fires, conversations. It's one of those situations that you should not go. You should never not experience. Is what I'm getting at. So please show up to these festivals. And speaking of festivals, I'm going to be playing at a few of them. Let me talk about them. The first one I want to talk about is Skydive the Falls. This is a 2.0 shirt, and I'm going to be performing at 3.0. That's right. Third year in a row that we've been doing this. Go out to Niagara Falls, New York, and go to Skydive the Falls, because Niagara Falls, the Falls, Niagara Falls, the Falls, falling out of a plane. You get what I'm saying? Of course you do. Skydive the Falls. Make sure you head on out there. It's going to be a beautiful, wonderful time full of excitement, dude. When's the last time you jumped out of a plane? And if you haven't yet, why haven't you? Man, get on out there, pay the price, and I promise you, you'll have a great time. Camping, food, beer, fun, dancing, exercising, competitions. It's a whole lot of beauty and ridiculousness. I promise you're gonna love it. There's no other way to go about it. Another one that I want to go to is Phoenix Fest. Oh yeah, that's right. I never even talked about the dates for Skydive the Falls Fest. July 15th through the 18th. It's going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You gotta go, but it's going to be an awesome time. Like I said, it's never not an awesome time. I promise you that it's never not an awesome time. The next the next festival I want to give a shout out to is Phoenix Fest. Phoenix Fest is going to be at Tall Tree Lake in Illinois. I think I can't remember what town it's in. Vienna, Illinois, like Vienna beef. Vienna, Illinois, Tall Tree Lake in Vienna, Illinois. Come out there, go camping. That's actually the week right after Skydive the Falls Fest. That's going to be July 23rd to the 25th. That is going to be a bunch of fun. I mean, it's all going to be a bunch of fun. It's all a bunch of fun. I'm telling you. It's a bunch of fun, man, heading out to these festivals. There's nothing better than getting out there with a bunch of people that you like, dancing your ass off, spitting fire if you get into it, and just having a great time, listening to these performers belt their heart out. Anything they do, anything and everything, it's a great time. Phoenix Fest, that's July 23rd to the 25th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You gotta go. Yeah, I get it. Sunday, you gotta go, and he goes to Sunday. All right, I'm done. Another one I'm gonna be doing is gonna be Sugar Creek, July 4th weekend. It'll be the 1st through the 4th. It'll be July 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and then the 5th you got to go. Man, I cannot wait to go do that. That's going to be so much fun. I'm telling you, Sugar Creek Music Festival, that whole scene is the shit. It's amazing. I like to promote life, love, and happiness, and Sugar Creek is full of all of that. So if you're down for it, please show up for it. It'd be awesome to see your faces there, your smiling faces, because I know you're going to smile. And let's see. And I think that's it in terms of shout outs. Let me make sure. Bill Phelan of the Silver Fox. Shout out to you, my friend. And of course, Lucas Too Strong Gwaltney of Too Strong MMA and Rodriguez BJJ. Lucas is a great ambassador of the sport. He's a great, not even just MMA, just boxing, combat sports in general. The dude's a man. He's a great individual. Okay, so today, like I said at the very beginning of this post, if you did not catch it, we were supposed to have Brok Weaver formerly now of the UFC, but a great competitor, a great spirit. He's just amazing on the mic. The dude knows how to capture a crowd, capture a moment, and take advantage of a moment. Unfortunately, I think something held him up. I'm assuming it was in the gym, and I hope he can make it, but if not, no biggie. The show must go on. Obviously, I would love to have him on, and anything we can reschedule. Obviously, so let's talk about this weekend's fights in the UFC. Obviously, the main event. Who saw that coming? Be honest with yourselves. Who saw that coming? Who saw that coming? I called it, motherfucker. Hell yeah, I saw it coming. Charles Oliveira on a 9-fight winning streak now. 28 fights to get the UFC title. That is the longest. That is the most amount of fights any person has ever fought and then won a title. The record was previously held by Michael Bisping at 26 fights when he beat Luke Rockhold for the title at middleweight. And then now it is Charles Oliveira, 28 fights. 28 fights to get to the UFC title shot. And he wins. He wins. Man, crazy. That dude debuted in 2010. 2010. That's almost 11 years ago, depending on what day it was that he debuted. Is what a story, man. What a hell of a story. He was 10-8-1. Dude, 10-8-1. He was 10-8-1 at one point in time. Then he goes on a 8-fight winning streak, gets a shot at the title versus Michael Chandler, who was no slouch. I know a lot of people didn't agree with the fact that he was on there or that he was getting the title shot, which I liked that it was him in the title picture. Number one, because he did not get defeated by Khabib, and number two, because he's arguably was, I guess overall, he's arguably the best fighter Bellator has ever had. Between him and Patricio Pitbull, which I think Patricio Pitbull might get him on that. Number one, because he defeated him, and number two, because he's a two-weight world champion. He's a 45 and 55-pound champion. So I think by default, Patricio is the better fighter. But man, between one and two, dude, he's got a resume under him. And in the first round, it was easily a 10-9 towards him, and two judges who are, I think, a little bit too insane, judged the fight 10-8 for him in that first round. I don't know that I agree with that, but I do think that he still, I mean, he proved himself in there in the first round. There's no denying the fact that he proved himself in that first round. He had Oliveira in trouble. Yeah, he kind of blew his wad trying to do whatever he could to get out of any situation or even get him out of there, period. Trying to knock him out, going haywire on him as he's hitting him. That really wasn't the smartest idea. But man, when you're so close to that finish line, you just want to rev up the engine, you know what I mean? And that's exactly what it did. And unfortunately, it cost him the fight, I think, because coming into the second round, he looked winded. He looked like he wanted to start the fight slow, and Oliveira wasn't having none of that, pressuring him right out the gate. I think maybe like 10 seconds in, he hits him with that clean left hook. Then he goes after him and he gets the job finished. And it really reminded me of the finish that Dustin Poirier had over McGregor, because he just chased him down in the same fashion, left hooks all day, boom, boom, boom. And then he left him on the canvas lying down. I wouldn't be surprised if there's memes out there of him and McGregor doing the same pose. But that doesn't change the fact that he deserved to be in there. He had Oliveira in trouble. Oliveira, being the veteran that he is, toughed it out. Really didn't. I mean, people say that he's notorious for giving up on himself in those types of situations, and I, for one, didn't agree with that. I mean, he was young. He's a young cat. He's only 31 years old. 31, dude. The last person to win a title, I think, before the age of 30 was probably Rose Namajunas. And then before her, I mean, McGregor, I think he was 27 when he won the title. Khabib, oh no, I guess Khabib was also 29. Never mind, I guess. Well, either way, what I'm getting at is he's young. He's only 31 years old. The dude's been in the UFC for 10 plus years, and he finally won the title. He's 31. He could easily defend that title 3-4 more years if he gets his game plans right. But I see him getting better and better. Obviously, he got caught. He did get caught, but he won. He survived. He won, came in the second round, and did his business, and he did so beautifully. I mean, the dude was a serious threat in the 55-pound title picture. Who he fights next, I don't know. I would like to see him fight Dustin Poirier, given that he beats McGregor. And maybe do a title eliminator between, or maybe like a number one contender after that fight. I don't know. I don't know what you want to do with this, but either way, I want to see the fight. Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje. I would love to see that fight. That would be just monstrous amounts of damage being dealt to both parties from both parties. That would be such an amazing fight. So that's a fight that I want to see booked next, and I think it's going to happen. I don't see any other I guess matchup that makes sense for Michael Chandler or Justin Gaethje. I think that it just makes sense. Money-wise, it makes sense. Fight-wise, ranking-wise, it just makes sense. They're both coming off finished losses from the champions, because obviously Oliveira is now champion. Khabib was champion when he fought Justin Gaethje, so I think they should fight. As for Beneil Dariush should sit out. You know, he's got a baby on the way. Sit out, bro. You know, enjoy the kid for a while. Let the whole field play itself out. You're in a pretty good position. I mean, I don't think anyone is ever going to get treated like Tony Ferguson again. That dude went on 12 fight win streak and could have get a title shot. I mean, he did get a title shot, but then he kind of, man, Tony's just fucking crazy. You know, you love the guy, you feel bad for the guy, but at the same time, he accepted the fight with Gaethje when he could have just held out. Even Khabib said that was dumb when he did it. I thought it was dumb. I thought it was savage, but I thought it was dumb that he did it at the time. I didn't agree with him at all, agreeing to fight Justin Gaethje at the time that he did it, because he was a champ, and I guess he thought that Khabib was running or whatever, and man, and then he cut weight the week before. What a crazy bastard, you know. You want to feel sorry for the guy. You know what I mean? You want to feel sorry for Tony. You want to feel sorry for Tony. You want to, but man, that dude makes his own decisions. He's a whole ass adult. You know what I'm saying? A whole ass adult. There's no other way to put it. You know, he makes his own decisions and he's a monster. And unfortunately, he lost to Beneil Dariush, which is something that I didn't want. I don't think anyone wanted to happen. I think everybody wanted Tony Ferguson to win. Maybe a few outliers want Beneil to win, but just the story, you know what I'm saying? You're on this epic 12 fight win streak, and then you're on a 2 fight skid, coming into a third, possibly 3 losses in a row, and you're a legend that continually got fucked over by the UFC, a former interim champion twice in that run. That man had plenty of opportunities to do what he had to do, and unfortunately, it didn't. The cards were never aligned correctly. Oh, it's such a sad thing to rethink. Anyway, so Tony Ferguson fights Beneil Dariush, and I can't be the only one who thought Tony Ferguson was very hesitant. He was very um, almost unwilling to pull the trigger. I think would be the correct word to say. He was unwilling to pull the trigger, as he should. I mean, not as he should. It's just, I think Justin Gaethje fucked him up mentally, man. I think Justin Gaethje fucked him up bad. I really do. That fight was terrible, like in terms of just destruction. Tony was taking way too much damage for his own good. He was standing up the whole time. He wasn't afraid. He was in the pocket and he was getting blasted. And I think that really fucked up his brain. I think now I don't think he can take hits as good as he used to. I really don't. And he's 37 years old. He doesn't heal as fast. And the dude's such a relentless savage that he doesn't care that if he's healed all the way yet. So he's just jumping into the next fight, and now he's on a 3 fight skid. I don't even know what to say about Tony Ferguson or who he should fight next. I don't want to see him fight anybody next. I want to see him take like a fucking, I don't know, 2 year hiatus and just heal, you know, do what George St. Pierre did, heal and come back when the going's good. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I know who he should fight. Tony Ferguson should fight Nick Diaz. Tony Ferguson should fight Nick Diaz in his welcome back fight. Because Tony Ferguson, I mean, he went on a 12-fight win streak, right? He goes on a 12-fight win streak. Obviously, the skill's there. He's fighting these new up-and-coming hungry fighters hitting their prime. Tony Ferguson, his prime, I mean, he was almost spent years in his prime, you know, just making sure he was on point, ready to fight Khabib, and the fight would fall out, this would fall out, this would happen, that would happen, and then a whole fucking pandemic hit the United States, and that was fucking crazy, man. It was nuts, and he's still up there. I believe he's still up there. And maybe I'm wrong, you know, maybe I'm wishful thinking over here. Maybe I'm wishful thinking, but I just believe in Tony Ferguson. And I think a good fight for him and a good fight for Nick Diaz is Tony Ferguson. And Tony deserves that fight, that payday. He deserves that payday. It should be Nick Diaz versus Tony Ferguson, main event, in wherever the hell they're allowing people to show up with fans, because they need fans for Nick Diaz's return. You need fans for Tony Ferguson's possible farewell fight. I'm not saying he should retire, but who knows? Maybe he gets the itch and he's like, you know what, man, I've had a good run. or he just starts taking money fights. But I think Tony Ferguson versus Nick Diaz should be the fight. Nick Diaz is walking around at 164 pounds. Tony Ferguson is probably around 170. Make it a 155-pound fight. Make it a 170 fight. Who gives a shit, you know? I think that is the fight to make. Nick Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. Nick Diaz versus Tony Ferguson. And that makes me feel better. You know, win or lose that fight, you know, it's good for both of them. It's good for both of them because say he wins, and it's like bam, you know, you're now back on the win, and Nick Diaz like he came back against a top tier lightweight, or if Nick Diaz wins, then it's like hey man, you beat a top tier lightweight, someone who's a perennial contender. Yeah, he's on a 3-fight losing streak, but he's on a 3-fight losing streak after going on a 12-fight winning streak. Come on, dude. He's as game opponent as any. And I think Tony Ferguson should be calling out Nick Diaz, or Nick Diaz should be calling out Tony Ferguson. Either way, they need to be calling each other out because Tony Ferguson has never fought Nathan Diaz, and Nick and Nate are notorious for not wanting to fight each other's opponents. It's the whole reason he won't fight. That's the whole reason Nick wouldn't fight McGregor, and the whole reason he won't fight Jorge Masvidal. So I'm gonna go with Tony Ferguson versus Nick Diaz for Nick Diaz's return. I'm putting my stamp on it. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Doing it. Let's do it. Let's get the ball rolling. Ferguson for fucking Diaz, Nick Diaz. All right. Up next is Rogerio Bonturin beats Matt Schnell by decision. This fight right here, Caitlin Chukaian defeats Viviane Araujo or whatever her name is. I didn't agree with the decision. I don't think many people agree with that decision. I thought Viviane won 2-3, but hey, shit happens, right? Then Shane Burgos loses in round 3 to Edson Barboza, which, dude, did anyone watch that fight? I mean, not anyone. I shouldn't say it like that. That's not what I meant to say. Did you watch that fight? Have you ever seen a knockout like that? A delayed knockout like that? A delayed knockout like that? I haven't seen a delayed knockout like that ever. I mean, he hit him with that 1-2, caught him, and then like what, a second and a half, 2 seconds later, he starts falling down backwards and he's out. I mean, I know Edson hit him with 2 following shots, but no one was home. His eyes were in the back of his head. I hope he's okay. I know they're saying that he's getting checked by the doctors, but man, I hope he's okay because that's dangerous stuff right there. You know, your brain should be responding immediately. A lot of people are saying that his legs held up longer than his brain did, and that's why it was a delayed reaction. But I don't know, man. That was scary. That was a scary knockout. But great job for Edson Barboza. And Edson Barboza should be on like a 3-fight winning streak, man. I mean, he lost a really shitty decision. I forget to who, but man, he's a contender. I think he should fight in a number 1 contender slot, really, for the 45-pound title. Maybe even welcoming back what's his name? What the hell is his name? That Russian. I forget his name. Now I feel bad because I watched the shit religiously. He was threatening to retire not too long ago, and I think he should be fighting him, but I forget his name. And hoping that I remember his name. I'm hoping I remember his name. What's his name? What's his name? Zabit Magomed Sharipov. Yeah, that's his name. I think Edson Barboza should be fighting Zabit when he comes back. Zabit wants a big fight. Edson Barboza is a big fight. They're both really dangerous. Make it for a number 1 contender. Whoever wins fights. Shit. There's Max Holloway. Fuck, man. Maybe fight Max Holloway. Maybe Edson Barboza versus Max Holloway. Fuck, but it should be. Man, that's so fucking. Oh, I don't know. I'm lost here. I want him to fight Zabit, but I also don't think Max Holloway should be overlooked at all. That dude deserves to fight for the title, especially after the beating that he put on what's his name? Man, I'm forgetting everyone's name today. But he definitely deserves to fight for the title. He arguably won that second fight with Alex Volkanovski. Then he comes back and he fights what's his name? Wins that fight dominantly. I mean, he made headlines with that combination. He was ducking and dodging while looking away, dude. What a legend. Yeah, I don't know. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should probably fight. I think Edson Barboza and Zabit should prob Yeah, I think they should fight, and I think Max should take the winner of the title. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm fucking lost here. That 45-pound title picture is so groggy right now. It's just so everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's everywhere. Um, Make sure that if you're commenting, you're commenting on the Mr. Hydration page, the Mr. Hydration station page, not my Raul Contreras page, because I cannot read any of your comments from my Raul Contreras page unless I use my computer. Again, we were supposed to have Brok Weaver on here. Unfortunately, I believe that something happened and he cannot make it because I haven't heard anything from him. But I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because he seems like a real cool cat. I mean, just in general, all his interviews, the way that he is on the mic, the kind of person he is in general, I think he's a real cool cat, and I don't think he'd be the type of person to just dip out. So I believe that something happened, something came along, and he was unable to come onto the stream because of it. And I'm sure he will reach out and we will reschedule sooner rather than later. I believe it anyway. Um. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to. Okay, I'm done. Yeah. So he's a great fighter. I mean, the dude's got heart for days. He unfortunately in the UFC it didn't pan out the greatest for him. The first fight he won, but he wasn't doing the greatest in. It was an illegal knee, DQ. He ended up winning that, came back, and he fought not Jolene Turner, Roosevelt Roberts, UFC on ESPN 9, but he got submitted, rear naked choke, and then again against Jolene Turner, he got submitted, rear naked choke. And you know what, man? That was tough. And it's a tough 3-fight losing streak, especially after coming in as hot as he did. I mean, the dude caught everyone's attention with his post-fight interview. He was very, very motivational. He was very driven, a positive guy, such a likable character. We were all rooting for him to win, I believe, in all 3 of those fights. Unfortunately, it didn't go his way. They cut him, but then he comes back and he fights Alexander Barahona at Icon Fighting Federation 6. And he beats him by decision, and man, it just seems like he's back on fire again. And I was like, ooh, man, I can't wait to do this interview. I was really looking forward to this because I think he's a great character. I think he's a great gentleman, a great fighter, a great representative for the sport of MMA, and he's such an inspiration. You know, being Native American, he's just it's almost like he's a people's champion. He's his people's champion. You know what I mean? And it's something that it's not very often you get to run across these opportunities. So I definitely wanted to take advantage of it and talk to him. Unfortunately, something happened and he won't be able to make it onto the stream, but that's okay. That's okay. We move on. We move on and forward and yeah. So let's talk about man, I want to wait I'm gonna get back on here and do another stream for what happened this weekend. But let's go over the prelims. Jacare Souza gets submitted in round 1. Dude, this motherfucker gets his arm broke. Jacare is such a monster, dude. It's so sad to see him on his losing streak too. To Andre Muniz. But Andre was talking about how he was a better BJJ practitioner than Jacare, and then he proved it in the fight. He submitted him. Not Jacare had never been submitted. Not to my knowledge. I don't think he's ever been submitted, and that dude got submitted. Crazy. Anyway, so then Lando Venata wins a split decision against Mike Grundy for a great back and forth fight. Jordan Wright KOs Jamie Pickett. Andrea Lee submits Antonina Shevchenko. Man, you know what, man? I was talking about this earlier. So Valentina Shevchenko is the 125-pound champion in the women's MMA division, and she is a force to be reckoned with. Literally a force to be reckoned with. She is the best in her decision, head and shoulders above the rest. She's this dominant force, and Antonina Shevchenko is her sister, but her sister's 3-3. Doesn't have that great of a record, but she was also a champion. So it almost makes me feel like um man, I don't like commenting on these things because like it's sister and sister, but it just feels like Antonina has like a mental block, maybe because she is the main training partner of her sister, Valentina Shevchenko, who is a current champion. Maybe she's just used to coming in second place, and that's why she's not winning as much. But she's got so much potential. She's got so much skills that should be translating a lot better for her than they are. Skills that should be winning her these fights, and unfortunately, they're not. So she loses. She goes down to 3-3. Hopefully, she can get on a win streak. We'll see. Gina Mazzini loses to Priscilla Cacuera. Cachuera? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that. She got KO'd in the second round. Tucker Lutz defeats Kevin Aguilar, and Christos Gallegos submits Sean Soriano. And those are the fights for the whole thing. Ooh, I just burped. Into the mic. Into the mic we go, we go. Into the mic we go. Oh. Okay. Well, that's it for the UFC fights for this last weekend. Coming up next week, we have main event Rob Font versus Cody Garbrandt, which should be a banger of a fight. I cannot wait to see this fight. Then Xiaonan Yan versus Carla Esparza. That's gonna be interesting, man. Rose Namajunas was talking about getting that win back from Carla Esparza, and what better way to do it when you're defending your championship belt? And the first time they fought, it was for the championship belt. So for sure, I think she wants Carla Esparza to win, but Xiaonan Yan is also a monster in her own right. I mean, a lot of people are picking her to win against Carla Esparza. Carla Esparza has been etching out decisions left and right. You know what happens with that? Who knows? We'll see. Then Justin Tava is facing Jared Vanderay. Felicia Spencer's back versus Norma Dumont. I'm really excited about that one. David Dvorak versus Raleigh and Paiva. Jack Hermanson is back versus Edmund Shabazian. Yo, dude, this fight should be talked about more. Edmund is coming off a really devastating loss, to be honest with you. Same with Jack Hermanson, man. I can't wait to see this. That's going to be a good fight. I'm really interested in that one. Ricardo Ramos versus Bill Algeo. Oh, shit. Ben Rothwell's back, too, versus Chris Barnett. And Court McGee versus Claudio Silva. Bruno Silva versus Victor Rodriguez. Yeah, Victor Rodriguez. Josh Kulabau versus Yilan Shah. Yancy Medeiros. Damn, why are you way down low in the prelims? He should be way up there. But he's versus Damir Hadzavec. And then Rafael Alves versus Damir Ismagulov. Ismagulov. I wonder if he's Russian. He's definitely Russian. All right, so those are the previews for next fights. I'm going to be back on here, and I'll be talking about what happened this weekend and my thoughts on the whole situation and everything that goes along with it. So I will see you guys here pretty soon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Brock, no worries, my man. I appreciate that you agreed to do the episode. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it happen. Reach out to me and let's reschedule, man. I would love to have you on here. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, have a beautiful one, guys. Adios.